You have to truly believe in the magic.
And now, Magic fans, we are delighted to be joined by our next guest. I've been trying to get this guest on for quite a while now. I've shared a few beers with him whilst I've been in Florida myself. So I'm delighted to be joined by somebody you've probably heard many a time at the Amway Centre, especially his work. A man who's responsible for all the music and sound effects you hear at the Magic Games, Simon the Music Guy. How are you, Si?
I'm fantastic. I am excited to be with you guys.
Oh,
the interview
amazing.
hasn't even started. Having fun, so I'm good with that.
Oh, we're having a lot of fun, aren't we? You're coming to the UK. Before we get into everything, you're coming over to watch your Buffalo Bills in October, aren't you?
I am. I leave October 4th. I fly in the morning of the 5th. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm still trying to figure out everything that I want to do. The only thing I know is that I have a Joe Strummer centered punk rock tour set one of the days that I'm there. So
brilliant. And it's not the first time you've been to the UK, is it? You like to frequent these shores, like we like to frequent the US.
I love the UK. London has fast become one of my favorite destinations. This trip, though, next that I'm coming on now will be the longest time that I've spent. I've got like 7 days in London, before and after the Buffalo Bills game. Prior to that, I'd stopped in for like maybe a day before and a day after at the head and tail of a trip on my way to Ireland, or I did a 11-day UK tour, or not tour, I'm sorry, cruise, an 11-day cruise around the UK, which was amazing. You guys are extremely blessed to be where you are.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And you've been to God's country as well. You want to throw that in there?
God's country? Are you talking Canada?
No, you've been to Wales, yeah?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I have been to Wales. Although there's much more that I really need to see of Wales, because to be honest, it was the only way I ended up in Wales was, how do I get the cheapest possible way from London to Dublin, and it ended up being by bus and across the Irish Sea. So yeah. And it was dark when I was in Wales, so
it's probably the best way.
Oh, stop!
All you would have seen is fields and sheep. Otherwise, it would have been fine. And daffodils.
I would have been fine with that.
Well, you're welcome anytime, Si. So tell all the listeners, if you'd be so kind, what your job entails and what a game day looks like for you.
Well, normally, on a game day, like let's just say for a 7 o'clock game, I usually show up at the arena at Amway Center about 4 o'clock. I'm sorry, not 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 hours before the game. And I take that time to just kind of go through, for each game, we have a script. And it basically is just so we're all on the same page as to what happens when. Like during the first quarter, first time out, we're going to do a free throw shooting contest with fans or whatever, whatever, things like that. So, and for all little things like that and everything, I pull music and get music sound effects ready for not just those contests, but for the game as well. Pretty much for the game, the sound effects and stuff are already always there. It's just a matter of all the other entertainment that I need to get set for. Usually, I'll do that for, I'll prep really for about, hour and a half, go grab a bite to eat, and then go back up to the sound booth, which is on the club level at Amway Center. And, we have pregame performances and stuff. Those usually start around 6:30 or so. Sometimes I've got to play music for that. And then, once the anthem is sung and 7 o'clock goes and tip off is done, I kind of consider it downhill from there. Like everything up until tip off to me is work. And then when work is done and tip off happens, that's the fun part for me. Cause it's just, it's usually pretty exciting behind the scenes. And, once the game is over and stuff, I really have very little duties other than playing a couple songs, and then that's it for the night, really.
It sounds like the perfect job, doesn't it? You'd love it. You get to watch the magic. You could put some tunes on. Brilliant.
I am very well aware of how lucky I am to be in the position that I'm in and how long I'm in the position that I'm in. And I don't take it for granted at all. I love the job.
Yeah. How long have you been in the position? I think you told me back in February. I forget.
With it officially being the 35th year, I can clearly remember when we were celebrating the 15th year. But I was on board for a couple years prior to that. I reached out to the human resources department at the Magic once because I honestly can't remember when I started doing the games full time and asked them to look it up for me. And they came back with the answer that, I'm sorry, your employment predates the current computer system that we have. So unfortunately, I can't give you a concrete answer.
Brilliant. Now, you might notice Paul's not here, but he had a question and he's really gutted he couldn't make this podcast. He's on holiday. He's a big rock music fan, and he loves the tip-offs you've been having, especially with playing Disturbed as one of his personal favorites. I think the track's called A Warrior's Call. Having Disturbed used and his personal favorite. Yeah, A Warrior's Call by Danish band Volbeat. So who selects the music for the tip, and what are you looking for in a song?
It depends. Sometimes the music is chosen from the video boards and all the light displays inside. It depends on how they want to handle tip off every year. Like obviously normally there's a video that the team that introduces the team, they all come out of the tunnel, and then they usually transition from that to another pump up type high energy video that leads to maybe about 30 seconds before tip off, and then I need to fill that time with music. If that's the case, then it's usually me that picks those songs. And what do I look for? I mean, obviously it's a great opportunity to pump up the crowd and hype everyone up. So it's literally probably one of the only times that I really lean on the heavily on the rock genre to pick music. I mean, and when you've got something like Warrior's Call, how like that is literally made for that moment and things like that. I've used a lot of Skillet as well throughout the years a couple times. So and I kind of can't remember what else I've used. I still have playlists from every game that I've done that I can always look up and stuff. But yeah, and a lot of it just comes from me in just my personal life, driving around in my car, listening to music and seeing what's out there. And if there's something that I hear that I like, no matter what it is, I'll pull my phone out and Shazam. So if you look at what I've Shazammed, it's a lot of music that I'm going to go back and like, oh, well, later I can do this, or I can edit this to, either make like an offensive prompt to, get the fans cheering for the team as they have the ball, or something defense, or just anything that I, can think of to do with it.
There's one I just want to mention before Mikey jumps in on the next question. There's one that you play, which is called Ironside by Quincy Jones, which is on the Kill Bill soundtrack. For basically when there's a bad call and you play it. I love that.
Perfect.
And we spoke about it in February, and you didn't realize how much people loved it. And it's on my Magic playlist just because, it's very well used. So, no, well done on that.
That's fantastic. I appreciate that. The good part is that, well, not the good part. I mean, I love hearing that people like that stuff. But a lot of the time I don't get much feedback at all. So, so it's always good to hear that. And if I can, let's see if I can get away with doing this. Can you hear that?
It started, and then it cut out.
Well, that's a shame because I had it all routed properly. I thought. Well, I was trying to play it for you, but I got it here.
Yeah.
Like literally, this call is being taken on the computer that I use to do the games with. So,
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, Simon, can you take us through the process, sort of piggybacking off of what you've just talked about in terms of like the songs and the effects that you use? You tend to, from if my memory serves me right, you tend to vary it year by year. You tend to change it up. I think typically throughout the season, the songs are the same. But is there a team of you that decides, or is it literally just like, I quite like that, I'm going to stick that on my playlist, or is there much that goes into it in terms of that?
When it comes to like the like sound effects during gameplay, because let me say this to begin, like the end a certain routine and we cannot do during a game. Pretty much when the Magic have the ball and we're on offense, I can pretty much play whatever I want during gameplay. So that's why it's much more varied during the times that the Magic have the ball. However, when the opposing team has the ball, it's more call and response type sounds that are kind of defense based and are more repetitive. That's kind of just how the NBA wants it. So those kind of stick around throughout the years and, have kind of become classic sounds. A lot of them defensively. Occasionally I can, well, not occasionally, but, like I said, when I Shazam stuff, sometimes it is to be like, oh, that could easily be a defensive prompt. It fits into what the NBA says, and I can use that and do that. But when it comes to like the offense and everything, there's really almost no limit to what I can do. I try and not to make it so distracting or anything like that. But, if you're, how do you not take a song like I Can Make Your Hands Clap, and how do you not work that in somehow, You just have to. But then when it comes to the music I play, outside of gameplay and everything, again, I've been very blessed with the people with the Magic. I think as long as I've been doing the job, they know what kind of job I do. They trust me with my judgment, and I have had very, very, very little restraints placed on me as far as what I can and can't play. And so pretty much it's just left to whatever I think fits the moment.
There's another one. I just wanted to jump in there. I'm obviously friends with you on Facebook. I think you were watching a Bills game the other day, and something happened. I think the Bills might have scored, and I think you commented and said, I went and put Shout on. And obviously Shout is another one that you play at the Magic, isn't it?
It is, yes, but because the Buffalo Bills are the Buffalo Bills, we kind of have our own version of Shout. It's kind of like the old Magic song that they, that we started playing at the beginning of the games at, last year. It's a different version of Shout, but it's all like Buffalo Bills based lyrics.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, there's that. But for a while, not last season so much, we'll throw it in every once in a while. But I think 2 seasons ago, we always at the Magic games at the second time out of the third quarter would always play the original version of Shout to, get the crowd, just keep the energy up and everything. And that would always come our video display people because we had great visuals of people dancing along and stuff on the Magic Vision. So that came from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you play the original Magic theme song, it'll put a smile on every Magic fan's face. So if you played that 20 times a game, Simon, we'd all be really happy. The other thing is, have you got a Spotify playlist?
Do I?
Yeah, because I think if you put one together, I think there'd be a lot of Magic fans that would subscribe to that and would be interested because like G's probably put his own together just based off of the songs he played.
I do have my own. Yeah.
I would like to see your playlist. No, I don't have a Spotify playlist. Keep track of what I played during games, and we used to post it on the Magic website, but that's probably been 7 or 8 years that we've done that. But I don't know. I honestly don't use Spotify as much as I probably should. Like I use it if I'm like hamstrung really quickly and need, a song that I don't have. And to be honest, it's very rare that I don't have a song that I need. After compiling the library that I've got for 20 plus years. And it's really rare that I don't have the song that I need.
Yeah. Obviously, with your extensive knowledge and experience and the sort of songs that work, because obviously I'm sure from your point of view, one of the most important things is trying to keep the crowd engaged throughout games. But with that in mind, what if you could rate your top 5 songs in recent years that you love to play during a game? What would they be?
Top 5. Goodness. Yeah. I know. Oh gosh. I'm trying to.
Rock and Roll Part 2's got to be in there, right?
No, not at all. No.
Really?
I have not played Rock and Roll Part 2 in years. Not just because, but I mean, Gary Glitter's had his issues. Let's be honest here. He's he's kind of off my playlist. But no, I haven't played Gary Glitter, although he used to be in the old building. We used to play that a lot. I'm trying to think. There's a song called Save Yourself by the Chainsmokers that I love using during the fourth quarter. That to me is a fantastic song. I'm trying to think of another song. I know it's an Olivia Rodrigo song, and you'll laugh, but it's Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. But I have a mix of it that was made. I'm sorry, wait. It's done with Paramore. That is a fantastic mix that I have. That I love playing. Here in Florida, Pitbull always seems to work. So, gosh, anything by Pitbull seems to work. Don't Stop the Party always kills. Oh gosh.
Moni. I'm thinking of the old stuff.
No, I try not to stick like those are classics, yes. But again, I haven't played Moni in years either. Just because there's other, in my mind, there's a lot of other stuff out there. Like when it comes to the fourth quarters, where I kind of pull out a lot of the stuff that I really that really likes. I end up with like some Tiesto in there, Icona Pop. So yeah, I know that's not exactly like probably the 5 bangers you're looking for, but I just I lean in the fourth quarter to those songs that are like EDM based, and they just seem to work really, really well when you're shooting t-shirts out to the crowd.
Yeah.
So we're recording this on Saturday the 16th, but yesterday was pretty significant because we unveiled I'll call it the throwback look with the classic star print jersey. I was just wondering what your thoughts are on the new, or the old look, shall we say, and the new look, if you can call it that, court designs.
I really like the throwback stuff. I see you're wearing the orange and the black. The city.
Yeah.
When that came out, I thought that was fantastic. As a matter of fact, the background of my computer is one of those jerseys because I just loved the black, the graphite and the orange.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really excited about the new court. I've seen it in pictures. I want to see it in person. Like I look at that logo and to me, it just brings back, heart and hustle years. I mean, the team wasn't great, but man, did we have fun. It was so much fun to come to games. But yeah, I'm looking at it now on my other computer. And the new jersey as well is great. I just like it. I've already had a meeting with the team about some things we're doing for the upcoming season, and it is going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be a lot of fun. But I like seeing the old logo. It does bring back, great memories of having that on the court and on players' backs.
Absolutely. We were talking about this, and we just bring the old logo back.
I was going to say, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the I like the logo that we've had, but it's always fun, especially in an anniversary year. You've got to take a look back to where you were, and we're still moving forward.
So with all the great things going on around logos, courts, jerseys, and excitement, it's a pretty simple question. Did the Magic make the playoffs this year?
I think we'll go deeper into the playoffs than we've gone in a while. Isn't saying much, but with such a core group of guys that are young, and I think they all really want to prove the doubters wrong. And there was at the end, middle and to end of last season, there was more of a buzz here in Orlando around the team than there had been in a while. And it was great to see that. My girlfriend follows the Magic just because I work with the Magic and everything. But if she is commenting to me about the games the day after, and she loves sports, don't get me wrong, she loves sports. We watch a lot of Premier League football, to be honest. Watch a lot of NASCAR. She's downstairs watching football right now. American football, said the Canadian, not Canadian football. But when she is bringing up the games and saying, I should come out to a game, I'm like, yeah, you should. So, but yeah, I think we're all going to be surprised with what the Magic do this year.
Absolutely agree.
So you just mentioned the Premier League there. Who's your team out of interest there, Si?
I really don't have a team. We will literally watch, and I hope you don't think I'm kidding. My girlfriend will record Premier League games, and we'll get up and watch Premier League. So I really don't have a team. If I had to lean on anybody, it would probably be Chelsea for really no particular reason. And oh boy, that didn't go.
No, yeah, that's all right. All right. Well, Gary and myself and Paul, we support teams in the Championship.
Okay.
And then we've got Mikey there who supports Liverpool.
Oh, all right.
And his face looks as red as the Liverpool shirt at the moment for some reason. No, it's nothing wrong with Chelsea.
No comment. No comment.
Again, I really don't have a reason, but I'll watch any game. I'll tune in anybody.
Yeah. Did you get to go when Magic were in London in 2016? I think a few of the players went to watch Chelsea that day. I think Alfred Payton might have gone.
I did not. We literally had, when we were in London with the Magic, we literally had a very, very tight schedule of things that we needed to do as a production crew behind the scenes. So, like, just off the top of my head, we landed at Heathrow to our hotel, which was over on the Isle of Dogs, and it took us forever to get there. And we ate lunch because it was lunchtime by the time we got there, and then they drove us straight over to the O2 to start doing rehearsals for the game and to do a walkthrough and everything. And then we went back to the hotel that night, and then most of the full-time staff, I believe it was Alec Martin's birthday. So to go like to a castle and have like a dinner celebration for Alec Martin, I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm not a full-time staff member. So I pulled out Google and Googled Canadian bar in London, and I ended up at the Maple Leaf, just off Trafalgar Square, and had dinner there, and then just took the tube back to the hotel and fell asleep. And then we did the game, and then other than that, maybe we had 12 hours to go do stuff in London. So the two things that I did really quickly, if you're interested, I'll tell you. I went to go see the building where the original Stanley Cup was built, because I'm also a huge hockey fan. And that's down on Regent Street off, I'm not sure exactly where. Anyway, I went to go see the building, and there's a plaque on the wall where the original Stanley Cup was purchased. I walked down the street after that and bought a brand new pair of Doc Martens. And then I went to the Joe Strummer Subway, because if you couldn't tell, I'm kind of a Clash fan, and I love Joe Strummer. Yeah. So, and then we played the game and then flew home.
Oh, fantastic. So, last question then, Simon. What's your favorite moment working, memory or moment working for the Magic?
That's a tough one, because I have friends who can remember, dates, quarters, times of events that happened. Like when I started thinking about that, some of the things I like the quirkier things that happen with the Magic, like T-Mac putting up 61 points. It was T-Mac, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember that night. That was a great night. That was a great moment, because how often are you ever going to see that? That was a great moment. And I don't even remember who we were playing or whatever. And it's an obscure moment, but it still sticks out in my mind. I don't know if it's a favorite moment, but again, I love these quirky moments. When Daryl Armstrong had to pick up the TV off the court.
Yeah.
Another moment that I don't know if it was favorite, but I know it's special to me even more so now. The night that we lost the NBA Finals, it was in Orlando. It was back in the old building in Amway Arena, and usually after the games in Amway Arena, I would go down, and I knew the guy who engineered the away radio broadcasts for the visiting team. So obviously it was the Lakers. So he was engineering the broadcast for the Lakers. And I would always just go down, say goodbye to him on my way out of the building. And particularly at night, I was just like, well, yeah, that was awful. This isn't cool. I thought we were going to do better, et cetera, kind of, discussing our sorrows. And then there started to talk back and forth on the broadcast team. He's coming out. He's coming. He'll be here in a minute. And I'm like, what's going on? And Kobe Bryant came walking across the court, and he stood there, like literally I was within arm's reach of him, and I didn't have to move. He was coming to us, and to hear him, being interviewed and, being that close to someone accidentally, was really cool. And in that moment, I know it's not necessarily a magic moment, but it's something that it was it was amazing that I could be there for it. And I got, pictures of him as I'm sitting there. Thank God for cell phones with cameras on them. And with him and his wife and 2 daughters at the time, right there on the court. They're great. Obviously tragic what happened, but not to bring the room down, but it was a great moment. And other moments that stick out for me are just moments that I've been blessed enough to, I've talked about my trip to London. We've done Rio de Janeiro. We did Mexico City. We're doing Mexico City again this year. Knock on wood, I'm on the list to go. And just, the Magic organization is filled with people that are amazing people. And to be included in that group for me it's a good moment whenever we can all get together and work together. We've got an amazing team of people that we all work well together with. I think the NBA realizes that and really, allows us to do our thing when we do these international games. So it's always great to be with those people and the moments that we have, that we're lucky enough to have, doing a game in London or Rio or wherever. Those are great moments. So it's not necessarily for me an on the court moment, but those moments are meaningful to me.
No, that's brilliant. No, very well put. Yeah, I mean, that's why we all love the Magic, isn't it? So, no, but thank you ever so much for, taking your time out of your day today. I've been trying to get you for a while, and this is the first time we've been able to put this together, isn't it? So I hope you have a fantastic trip to London in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you ever so much for your time, Simon. And look forward to seeing you again soon.
My pleasure. Yes, we will have a few more pints.
Sounds good, mate. Thanks for listening and watching. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Go Magic.